Welcome into our first Wednesday Jags A.M. of training camp. 11th day of practice here. We're really getting into the dog days at this point. We welcome you into Jags A.M. this morning. I'm Kainani Stevens, Brian Sexton, John Oehser with me. We're here in the Hyundai Studios, but we'll give you live looks at practice that just kicked off a little while ago as training camp gets going once again. Let's talk about some big things we've seen the last couple of days at practice and what's gone on since last week. Quality reps, that's our big thing number one. We got to see a scrimmage in the stadium last week, Brian. That was the first time we got to see some actual game action from them. Normally it's just a practice inside the stadium, but it was pretty cool to see how much emphasis they actually put on using that scrimmage as a tool to figure out what they've got on the team.
You know, I always look forward to that, Kai, because guys go through the motions on the practice field. Not to say that they're not giving it their all, but it gets to be muscle memory. And then you get out into the stadium, and Liam Cohen, John, referenced this yesterday. He said, when the fans are there, it's just a little different. We see things differently. And so every rep out there had the feel of a little bit more importance. And obviously, it isn't any more important than today's practice or tomorrow's practice. But it was fun to watch on Friday night.
Yeah, I think what was kind of cool and interesting was the playmakers made plays. Trevor Lawrence had a really good scrimmage. Brian Thomas Jr. sort of came alive. I don't want to say he hadn't been playing well early, but he certainly had his best night and best day during that. And they showed some explosiveness in that scrimmage. And Liam Cohen, to me, afterward, I don't want to say relieved, but he felt very good about it. He's an offensive guy. The offense looked good. They got going. I did think the scrimmage was significant, maybe as significant as a scrimmage I've seen around here.
Let's go to our second big thing, which is practice reps. Obviously, we put a ton of emphasis on seeing what we see at training camp. The coaches do too. And at this point, Liam Cohen says he's not quite sure exactly who will be playing in the preseason game.
Yeah, it's big. You know, I mean, we don't know what you have ever, right? You really don't. I mean, you have a feel, you know what you're doing against each other. But as we saw even in the scrimmage the other night, like, we'd be lying if we didn't see some, you know, bright eyes and maybe getting into guys doing some things that maybe they hadn't been doing in practice settings because we were in the stadium and there were some fans there, right? It's just, it is different. To go through the pregame routine, to get into your routine of getting ready to go play a game, but also, like you mentioned, going and competing against somebody else.
John, when we talk about the coaching staff and what they're looking for, they want to see preseason games, sure, for some of the younger guys, but a lot of the focus during practice is on the veterans and getting to know this new system, and I feel like they can take more from practice at times.
Well, Brian wrote about it this morning, and I think Liam Cohen did a nice job of talking about this in another soundbite. He was with the Rams, who didn't play any players during preseason. I mean, any starters during preseason. He was also with the Bucs that played it a lot, and he talked about it being a dilemma on what to do, because you do want to see these guys play reps, you want to see them play meaningful stuff, but you also don't want to get them hurt. So my guess, Brian, is that he'll play starters in this game and this year, because it's so new and he wants to see it. My guess is, as he goes forward and gets more comfortable with what he's got, I think he goes the McVay way. And I could easily see him deeper into his career playing very few starters in the preseason. That's just a gut. He hasn't told me that.
No.
But that's sort of my feeling from listening to him yesterday.
Well, the conversation yesterday was, have you decided yet? And he said they were going back and forth. He mentioned that he came from the LA method, where they didn't play. I thought it was also interesting, Kai, that he talked about how that was a great leverage point when they were looking at college free agents that you compete to sign, and talking about bringing them in and giving them more reps in game situations because their starters weren't going to play. But that's just an aside. He also talked about being in Tampa last year with Todd Bowles, and they did play. And they got those starters in because they needed to get some quality reps with them. So, John, I'm with you. I don't know that they're going to play a lot, but I think Liam is installing his system and his method and his process. And so we're going to see just a touch of these guys. I mean, maybe next Sunday in New Orleans, we'll see a little bit more of them, and probably not at all in the finale against Miami. But it is a balance. It's a difficult balance for coaches because their instincts say, I want to get them out on the field. It's football. And yet their preservation instinct says, I need these guys on opening day against Carolina.
Our final big thing today is going to be game reps. We're talking about the preseason game coming up on Saturday against the Steelers. At this point, we don't know what the starters will be playing in terms of playing time or if they'll play at all. Trevor Lawrence said he'll be ready if his name is called.
I think it does help, you know, just from the standpoint, especially as a quarterback, you know, you can get hit. It's, you know, all off season and all training camp, you can't get hit. So sometimes there's a different time clock in the pocket. You try to always play it real in practice, but sometimes you kind of hang on to the ball and take a little bit more chances in the pocket because there's no consequences. But when you're live, it's a little different. So it's nice to feel the time clock sped up, to feel the communication with the whole offense, with offensive line, protection, you know, just live full speed reps. I think it is valuable. You know, I think you got to be smart too, though, as far as how much you play and all that stuff. That's for, you know, coach and all them to figure out, and for us just to do our job. So I do think there's value, though.
Brian, it's not up to us, but would you like to see Trevor out there doing this new offense a little bit?
Yes. No, listen, I think there's value for him because he's missed so much time because of injury going back to, you know, the end of the 2023 season. He just hasn't been completely healthy. So for him in a new system, and John, we've talked extensively about his footwork, and he's talked about where his eyes and his feet find that rhythm where they're together. He mentioned that specifically yesterday. Well, you can get a lot of work done in the practice field. I just think it would be better for him to get some work on the game field on Saturday night against the Steelers so that you come back to practice next week and have something to be able to compare and contrast.
Yeah, I think it sort of speaks to what we were talking about earlier. If Trevor was in his second or third year in Liam's system, I could see them not playing him. With him never having played in it, and with, you know, wasn't a great practice yesterday. He had been having a lot of good practices leading up to it. I would just be stunned if they don't play the starters with Trevor Lawrence sometime in the first couple of games, just because I still think there's learning, and I think Trevor's still trying to get to that muscle memory point with his footwork and in this offense. I think you need, in order to get there, you got to do it in a game at some point.
You know, I thought it was interesting yesterday, Kai. He talked about calling Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Steelers, and wanting to have a conversation with him. You hear coaches, John, talk about that with respect to joint practices. I've never heard in more than 30 years of doing this that them talk about talking before a game.
Yeah, you started to hear it a little bit in the last couple of years. I'm with you, to your point. I can't imagine Tom Coughlin and I'm drawing a blank on who they may have played. I can't imagine getting on an old landline back in the day and saying, hey, you want to play your starters into the third. Jeff Fisher, he probably wouldn't have done it with, but they weren't playing in the preseason either. But I think it's a good change for the league, but it does speak to what this was always what preseason was. Now the league sort of admits it. Hey, let's get this thing ready. It doesn't matter who wins or loses, but it is an interesting change because up to 4 or 5 years ago, I'd never heard it, and I just laugh when I think about Tom and Bill Parcells getting together talking about starters.
And I do think there's some regret this year that they didn't get more practice time with another team. I know that they were looking at it and it didn't fit up. They've got that 1 day, 2 weeks from tomorrow against the Miami Dolphins, but that's really what the preseason is becoming. And when we go to an 18-game schedule, you're going to see even fewer preseason games. So it's going to be more about this, how do we get the most work done, each of us working together.
Absolutely. Stay with us here on Jags A.M. We're going to talk a little bit about the wide receiver group and also some names you need to know on this roster.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit DreamfindersHomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
Popsicles, sprinklers, a cool breeze. Talk about refreshing. You know what else is refreshing this summer? A brand new phone with Verizon. Yep, get a new phone on any plan with Select Phone Trade-in and My Plan. And lock down a low price for 3 years on any plan with My Plan. This is a deal for everyone, whether you're a new or existing customer. Swing by Verizon today for our best phone deals. 3-year price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate only. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval. Blu-ray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
My best friend Riley loved going to the beach. She was a great swimmer. Then one day, during a swim meet, she collapsed. She had cancer, Hodgkin lymphoma. She spent months getting care at UF Health. The doctors did so much, even put her in a clinical trial. I wish we could go to the beach right now. But she's working.
Out of the water.
She's on lifeguard duty. Maybe we'll head out when her shift is done.
UF Health. Human progress has no finish line.
NFL fans, when it's time to get Jaguars tickets, you can tackle game day with total certainty with Ticketmaster. With 100% verified tickets available all season long, you can count on getting in with ease and spend time focusing on the good stuff. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, you can still score seats. Want to meet up inside the stadium with your crew? Transferring your tickets is an easy handoff. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at ServPro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. ServPro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
Jags A.M. brought to you by Fields Auto Group. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. You can head over to fieldsauto.com.
We got Alex Kemp out here, a great, referee crew out here that did a great job. We met with them as a staff at 7 a.m. this morning. They will meet with our players, this afternoon. They'll also meet with the rookies and explain some of the rule changes from college to pro this evening. And so we are making a conscious effort, and the league is making a conscious effort at detailing formations, alignments, assignments, and motions is a huge part of the rules this year. The two men in motion, illegal formation, shaving the line of scrimmage, it all showed up today. All the things that they are trying to emphasize. So, long-winded way of answering your question, I'd like a little bit more discipline.
Head coach Liam Cohen looking for some discipline in the next couple of days before the preseason matchup. And obviously, some of these guys are going to be in their first NFL football game on Saturday, which is pretty cool. And we have some new names, not necessarily all of them rookies, but people that, you need to know about going into camp, whether it's a storyline they're pushing to start or whatever it is. Brian, who's a name that you think is important to
Well, I'm going with the veteran side of it, Kai. I'm going with Devon Hamilton because we haven't seen Mason Smith on the practice field yet. You see him walking around and that enormous frame that he's got. And I was told by Josh Allen back during OTAs that he really put the work in, and they were excited about having him in the middle to push the pocket and take some of the pressure off of the outside guys, he and Trayvon. And yet he hasn't played yet. And I haven't seen Eric Armstead on the practice field. And that kind of makes you wonder where he's at with his health. So there's a lot of pressure on Devon Hamilton, who last year played a lot of football and played pretty well. He kind of worked his way back from the 2023 injury. But, John, it sure feels like Devon Hamilton is the man in the middle. I know that Jordan Jefferson and some of the other young guys are there, but Devon's capable of playing at a high level. And if this team is going to have to wait to get Mason and Eric back in the rotation, it's all going to be on big Devon Hamilton.
Yeah, it feels like Tyler Lacey's going to matter this year, but I'm with you. Devon Hamilton is to me the guy. They paid him 2 or 3 years ago off of the 22 season, I think it was, and he had some big time games because of the back and because of working his way in. It doesn't feel like he's maybe been a 7 compared to what they hoped would be a 9, something like that. Not bad, but not dominant. The defensive tackle position's weird because there's potential there with Mason Smith, Eric Armstead, and Devon Hamilton for this to be an aces group. But there's also enough uncertainty around them all that you just don't know. So I think Devon Hamilton's really key.
Especially in a position group that struggled so much last year. We're definitely going to need to see some improvement there for sure. John, who's someone you have your eye on as a name that people should know?
LaQuint Allen, and I only chose LaQuint over
Jaquindon.
I'm going to blow the name, Jaquindon Jackson, because they feel to me like very much the same guy. I think LaQuint's ahead. He was 7th round draft pick. He's going to be on the team, and he's a 7th round draft pick. The running back room is really deep, but they really like this guy. Their issue is they have 5 backs they like. Can you keep all 5? I think they love the situation. I don't know that they have an elite guy at the running back position. I don't know that you need an elite guy at the running back position, but I think they have, again, going back to my number system, and they've got 5 guys who are 8s and 7s who are really, really good. LaQuint Allen's tough. He pass blocks well, as Kai has pointed out numerous times. This guy might be a real find.
He's a natural receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, natural. You just see the way that he reaches for the ball and how it just settles into his hands. And he's not looking to turn up the field before he's got it. I mean, he's a talented guy. I love the problem.
He's also nasty.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll fight you.
I know. I like that.
And so will I, by the way. So,
I know that about you. Give me the problem of having too good of a running back room, just off the top. Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby, I think, have both had good practices. When I have focused on them, I have seen them running with power, which is not Etienne's specialty, but also, it was just 2 years ago that Etienne gave you 1,500 total yards and 12 touchdowns. So if you've got him playing at a higher level in this offense and LaQuint Allen out there, who does a lot of the same things he does in terms of catching the ball, man, you've got a lot of options for your offensive coordinator.
Yeah, just a note on Travis, because I know people are watching this and trying to go back now to the March storyline. Could they trade Travis? I don't think it's happening. They are really impressed and love what Travis Etienne's brought them. I think they like him more than they thought they would when they got here.
He's been the guy I've been most impressed with so far in this camp, because he had a lot to play for coming in on the 5th-year option. He's on a 1-year deal, and the running backs, we know how they've been, I don't want to say devalued, but they're not getting the money that other positions are. He looks sensational. I went back and looked at the numbers, and last year was an off year for him, but the 2 years before, his 2 years of playing in 2022 and 2023, he had more than 1,400 all-purpose yards and more than, I think he had 12 touchdowns 1 year and 8 the other. So he was a productive, explosive player, and if they get that guy, wow, they got a lot to work with.
They've definitely been focusing on using him in the passing game as well, which he's improved upon every time I've been watching him in practice. Made a diving catch the other day. It was impressive. So definitely good to have options in the running back room for once. Have a lot of different people to look at. I went with the linebackers. I went with Jack Kaiser, rookie out of Notre Dame. They love this guy. They talked a lot. James Gladstone, when I talked to him at the draft, they looked at a lot of guys that stayed at one school, captains on their teams, have that leadership capability, especially at linebacker. That's what you want to see out there. Obviously, we have that in Foye Oluokun, but got a plan for the future as well. They love this guy so far. He's been contributing on special teams, which will probably be one of his main roles, but that's a crowded room as well. And now that Jalen McLeod, fellow rookie, he's injured right now, lower body injury, I believe, week to week. So that could open some things up there, but they love Dennis Gardeck, John, who just came off of a PUP list recently. They love the energy from him. So could be interesting to see where they go with those choices.
It's going to be a new looking roster. I mean, there's a lot of guys we're talking about who weren't here. The stamp of these guys is going to be on this team quickly. I like Kaiser as well. He's a guy who you would think needs to come in and play right away because he was in college for 13 years. So, but
he's ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, because of COVID, coming in right now are a little older. They're not developmental guys. So I would think you would see Kaiser in a special teams role. And I would think there would be some confidence in him as a backup. Sometimes you have rookie backups at linebacker who they're hoping don't play because you just want them on special teams. Kaiser, I think by the time the season starts, would be a little more confident in him as a rookie than maybe others.
You have some really good special teams players here, Daniel Thomas, Dewey Wingard. I'm told that Kaiser has the ability to be a top performer on special teams. He's that smart, he understands it, and he likes doing it. If he can do that, he's going to find his way onto the field also.
Definitely carve him a spot on the roster for sure. So we've talked a little bit about the names you need to know. Coming back after the break, we're going to go into the wide receiver group, do a deep dive, tell you everything you need to know about that.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dream Finders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
When disaster strikes, trust the experts at Surf Pro. As a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, they bring the same dedication and precision to restoring your property as the Jaguars do on the field. Whether it's water, fire, or storm damage, their highly trained professionals are on call 24/7 to make it like it never even happened. Surf Pro, your local leader in restoration and cleanup.
It's here that a tiny newborn has the heart surgery needed to save her life. It's here that a first grader learns to speak clearly and confidently. It's here that a 12-year-old athlete builds the strength to run full speed again. It's here at Wolfson Children's Hospital that answers are found, courage is shown, and odds are beaten every day. Wolfson Children's, always here. Visit wolfsonchildrens.com.
NFL fans, when it's time to get Jaguars tickets, you can tackle game day with total certainty with Ticketmaster. With 100% verified tickets available all season long, you can count on getting in with ease and spend time focusing on the good stuff. Even if you're headed to the game last minute, you can still score seats. Want to meet up inside the stadium with your crew? Transferring your tickets is an easy handoff. So get those touchdown celebrations ready and score your tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Ride Now Power Sports is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars football fires up your Sundays, and a Yamaha boat or wave runner brings on the water thrills to get you through the other 6 days of the week. Check out the extensive Yamaha watercraft selection that must go at the Ride Now Power Sports Beach, Boulevard, and Jacksonville locations. Their prices will not be beat. You and the Jaguars can both win this season. Just mention Jaguars at the time of your purchase. Online at ridenow.com.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
For 12 years, Dreamfinders Homes have been proud to call themselves the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit dreamfinders.com for all of the available inventory, and go Jags. Looking back into Jags A.M. today, 11th practice so far of training camp. We're in it now. There's a preseason game coming up, but a lot of the offseason talk has been about the weapons and the wide receiver group specifically. Obviously, when you add Travis Hunter, that's something to be talked about, especially after the year that Brian Thomas Jr. had. But in terms of Travis Hunter, he's still learning this offense. Liam Cohen says they're working him in. Obviously, he'll play on both sides of the ball, but they do want him to feel comfortable when he's out there. And he talked a little bit yesterday about how they've been easing him into the offense as well.
He's still learning 12 personnel, other positions, so that he can continue to get in right in some of those personnel groupings. Because he plays the F in 11, to go and play the Z in 12 is just, it's just another added learning curve that we need to continue to work on. But I think he'll say he was a little bit more tired than he usually gets. But I thought he still showed up, made some plays across the middle as he's kind of continued to do. And it's just good to get into that habit. As we mentioned, we wanted to get to this point of post scrimmage, just starting to let him roll in between racks to get him some extra work.
John, for the first time yesterday, we saw Travis Hunter play both sides in a scrimmage. He had his teal jersey on for offense, and he put a white penny on and played defense. And not too much of a break, but similar to what he's going to be dealing with in a game.
Yeah, at some point he's got to get used to it. And I thought they did a smart thing early on. Liam Cohen talked in that soundbite about them really wanting to make sure that he was over his feet each day, meaning that they weren't giving him too much. They let him learn. I think letting him go on offense and then defense on separate days made a lot of sense. He looked fine to me. It's intriguing, Brian, but so far it doesn't feel like they have run into anything where they've gone, whoa, this can't happen.
Listen,
so far so good.
If he's still learning, I mean, all you have to do is just turn on your Instagram feed and see all the photos, see all the video of him floating in midair and making dramatic catches and making plays. I mean, if he's still learning, it's hard to see because he is playing at a natural level for him. Obviously, the game of football is just part of who he is. I was interested in how he would handle all of it yesterday, and I have to just, John, keep coming back and taking my conventional wisdom hat off and stop thinking, well, how much can he handle on offense and how much can he handle on defense? Because he's different. You have to see him for what he's capable of doing and understand they're trying to find a way to maximize what he's capable of doing and not thinking, well, that's too many snaps on offense, or he's got to get more snaps on defense.
Put your conventional wisdom hat right next to your attack hat.
I don't think I had an attack hat.
I think what's interesting about Travis Hunter is what he can bring in terms of, if he was going to be your number one sole receiver, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
But Dyami Brown, and we're talking about receivers, so I'll go into it. Dyami Brown and Brian Thomas Jr., to me, feel like guys that you're going to be able to depend on down in and down out. I'm not saying you couldn't do that with Travis, but it seems like he can complement those guys with big plays. It feels like a good mix. I'm not saying Travis Hunter can never do that. I don't know that I would want to go in with Travis Hunter having to be the guy who has to get me 8 for 110 in week 1. If the other guys can get both 90 and Travis makes 2 or 3 big plays to strain the defense, he's not under an inordinate amount of pressure to be the guy, I guess is my point. I think that's a good situation.
It was in the scrimmage the other night. There was one play in particular where you could just see that the defense was stressed all the way out, and here comes Travis Hunter, and no one knows how to cover him.
Yeah, I think it's a good complement, a good mix right now at that spot.
John, I think a good point about Dyami Brown, obviously a new addition as well. He's on a 1-year contract, but he has been able to make some very explosive plays previously with Washington. We've seen it in practice and in the scrimmage as well. He's been benefiting from that. Grant Udinski actually talked about it earlier this week after the scrimmage about that dynamic play ability that Dyami has.
I think that's kind of what you saw a little bit from him last year. He has that ability, I think the improvement in some of the stuff that he's shown in the run game, and even with the different routes that we've asked him to run, will only hopefully expand his ability to create explosives. But last year, whether it was running go balls or vertical routes or with the ball in hand on screens and different plays, I think that's something that's in his wheelhouse.
Brian, we talked a lot about all these different weapons, but Dyami Brown's kind of benefiting from some of this already. As you know, you're putting a ton of focus on Brian Thomas Jr., obviously, and Travis Hunter. Somebody's going to be open.
I saw him in the playoffs like you guys did when he made that run that basically matched his whole season. So I was curious what he was going to be when he showed up here. We know he's fast, but he's also explosive, and there's a difference between the two. Not everyone who's fast is as explosive. He also changes direction, John, on a dime, which is really impressive. He's moving so fast, and he can turn and go the other direction. I think he's got legit ability to be a number 2, a 90-catch guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to... Jimmy and Keenan, right? I mean, both of those guys were capable of putting up more than 90 catches in a season. I don't know that they've had 2 guys here that you'd be able to say that about since then.
I'm with you, and I think we were looking for the same thing. He hadn't played and been very consistent in Washington. So when you show up, your first instinct, was this flash in the pan? You're trying to look for that. He's much more polished, much more consistent practice in and practice out than I maybe thought he would be. And I had nothing to go on before that, but you just wonder because he hadn't played a whole lot. He's more veteran and more polished than I expected, and I think he can be a consistent guy for him. And I kind of wondered when they signed him, okay, this might be a guy who explodes every 3 or 4 games.
Right.
I think between him and BTJ, you've got 2 guys. It wouldn't surprise you week to week if you had if either of those guys were over 90 yards, was the consistent go-to guy in the offense. I think they both can handle it. What a difference between last year and this year's receiving corps.
Well, and you and I were both here in '96 when Keenan McCardell showed up, and I think he had like 54 catches was the most he had had in his time with the Cleveland Browns, and no one knew, Kai, what he was going to be. And it wasn't until you got him on the field and he figured out how to work opposite Jimmy. Well, the new Jimmy is obviously Brian Thomas. And now Diami has an opportunity to figure that out. And then you mix in Travis Hunter. I mean, this is the best receiving core they've had in more than 20 years here, maybe 25.
Let's talk a little bit about Brian Thomas Jr. Obviously a spectacular rookie season, but now heading into his sophomore campaign, getting to learn a new offense. Trevor Lawrence working with him. He spoke a little bit about them trying to get on the same page with this new offense.
Just the communication and talking. I think we've made some big steps since the spring. And you got to think, too, we didn't get to play a full season together. So, we've been trying to build that and be just in lockstep and always know each other's thinking. And when we get those one-on-ones, making all those plays, giving them opportunities, always giving them a chance to get his hand on the ball. And there has been some frustration, I think, from both of us and just offensively, because there's been some where, I might miss a throw, I might not make a contested catch. Maybe they push coverage to him, and there is days where it's a little frustrating, and that's stuff you work through in practice. And we both expect a lot out of each other, and I think that's the cool thing about our relationship is we expect to make all those plays. So it's frustrating when you don't, and like I said, we just got to keep working it and he's such a great player. You just keep giving him all the opportunities and putting the ball somewhere where he can get it, and always giving him a chance is really important.
Brian Thomas Jr. probably had one of his best days in the scrimmage, I would say. He struggled other days, John, but I think it's important to remember he didn't play a ton with Trevor because he was hurt last year. A lot of his success was with Mac Jones, so not only is he learning that new offense, he's got to get used to working with Trevor again.
Yeah, and I realize this runs counter to our I want to see it right now world we live in. I'll worry about BTJ if by week 3 there's not a huge game. And frankly, I'll worry, he was too good last year too often to make me think that when the lights go on, it's not going to be there. And there have been some moments in practice this year where you saw it of, okay, well, there's a comeback route I'm thinking about where I'm like, okay, this is special stuff. They'll get it. He's too good, and his coaching staff knows to get him the ball. The offense is going to be too good. I think BTJ will be fine. And I think their chemistry, maybe not week 1, but by week 3 or 4, Trevor's not dumb. He's going to throw BTJ the ball.
Right.
Yeah. So
it looked so easy for BTJ last year, and maybe for some reason it was, but there's always some semblance of a learning curve when you get here. And I think maybe he feels the pressure, or maybe he's putting the pressure on himself to take that next step and rise to the elite level, the Justin Jefferson, the Jamar Chase level, and to be that kind of a player, which I think everyone in this room thinks he's capable of being. And now you're talking about adding that, because we were told he's a top competitor, John, to the equation of new coach, this quarterback. I think when the lights go on, there is no doubt in my mind.
The lights have only flickered once, and that's been in the scrimmage, and he had his best day. Yeah. That's what he is.
Right.
And I think some of it as well, if anyone's been at practice and seen any of this, I think some of it's frustration on his own part because he expects himself to be 10 for 10, 100% every single catch, every opportunity. So some of that is, him being competitive. Right. So I don't want to make it sound like he looks terrible at practice or anything like that. But obviously BTJ is very special. I'm looking forward to his sophomore season. Let's talk a little bit about rounding out this room. I think Parker Washington's obviously got that 4 spot locked up, but who's the 5th receiver on this team, John? Who are you seeing?
Parker's looked really, really good. Better than I thought he would, and he gets more veteran each year, which you're supposed to, but not everybody does. Intriguing, obviously, is Cephas. He, for people who haven't really followed it closely, every practice he makes a big play.
Yeah.
He feels to me like a guy who I don't know how consistently he would be if he had to start and play every game. Because I don't know that once defenses would start to focus on him, I don't know that he would have the answers yet these other guys do, which I'm not knocking him. He's a first-year guy. But I think if you put him in there as the 4th or 5th guy as an option every once in a while, he can beat you deep if you're not paying attention to him. Every practice, and this is practice 11, I've probably written about him in 7 practices because he's had some big plays. So there's some capability there. He's raw, but it's hard to imagine them not keeping that around and trying to figure out how to use it.
Well, you know what I'm going to say. Can he play on special teams?
There we go.
Right? I mean, if he can, then he'd be. Right. They're looking for a Tim Jones kind of player.
Yeah,
number 10.
I'm not sure Joshua is that, but I think he's going to be around here. But go ahead, Brian.
Well, but just because of his explosiveness. And I had heard the practice that I missed, I heard that he made a big play and went, okay, well, we saw big plays from him last year.
Yeah.
But you just mentioned the consistency. You write about him time and time and time again. So what I'm going to be looking for from him on Saturday night against the Steelers and against the Saints and against the Dolphins is, can you learn to contribute on special teams? I just mentioned the name Tim Jones, who was a longtime wide receiver here. No plays of you can even remember in the offense, but man, did he make plays on special teams. And they're looking to find that guy. Parker, as you mentioned at 4, well, he's the return guy.
Sure.
But you need that wide receiver who's got the speed and the mentality of going down and making plays on special teams covering the ball.
It'll be an interesting spot to play out as the rest of the preseason goes along. So stay with us here. We have one more break in Jags A.M., but coming up, we're going to tell you all about the throwbacks and which games you're going to see them in this year.
Since 2014, there's been only one official home builder of the Jaguars, Dreamfinders Homes. With quality-built homes and a speedy move-in process, we're in 20-plus communities in the best locations across Northeast Florida. Dreamfinders Homes is everywhere you want to live. So get off the sidelines, Jags fans, and get into the game. Let Dreamfinders help you navigate your home purchase and offer great interest rates. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for all your move-in ready homes and step up your game.
To aim higher, run faster, is what elite athletes do. Always strive for better. At UF Health, we have that same DNA to not just treat a stroke, but to create a fleet of mobile stroke treatment units, to not just do research, but to use AI to save lives with one of the most powerful supercomputers in academia. We believe, like athletes, that human progress has no finish line. UF Health, National Medical Center for Team USA.
Are you ready for a taste bud touchdown? Well, Jags fans, if you're at the bank and craving a snack that's shell-shockingly good, look no further than Luray Peanut Company's boiled peanuts. Picture this, you in the stands, cheering on your Jaguars, and in one hand, a bag of piping hot boiled peanuts. With original or Cajun to choose from, they're so delicious, you'll wonder where they've been all your life. So grab them while they're hot and get back to the game. And as always, Duval! Luray boiled peanuts, where every nut is a winner.
Before you found out about Breeze Airways nonstop routes, your flight up north may have gone something like this. Drive to the airport, fly west to a hub, layover for 4 hours, realize you need to take a shuttle to the other terminal, board another flight north, get a rental car, drive another hour, get there, exhausted. But now you can book a straight shot Breeze flight to Providence on a nice plane with nice people for a nice price. Breeze Airways, seriously nice.
With the first pick in the 2025 draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 plumbing, septic, and air conditioning contractor in Florida.
Congratulations, Duck Duck Rooter. So tell us, how does it feel to be picked #1?
When you're stuck, call the Duck. Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're a certified plumbing, master septic, and air conditioning contractor serving both residential and commercial customers. Check out our reviews on Google and give us a call to schedule service. DuckDuckRooter.com.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jags fans, if you want customized Jaguars furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com to browse all the customizable options. Zipchair is furniture for fans. I have a special announcement here on Jags A.M. Obviously, last year we got the throwbacks everyone desperately wanted back in our lives, and now we have a special announcement about 4 new games. So check out the commercial for the throwbacks this year.
Hold it there, Cam. Is that what you're having for breakfast?
Well, yeah, it's what I have every morning.
Wait, don't you want something more out of your breakfast? Something with a little more kick?
Sure.
Here, try this.
Prowler Puffs.
Go ahead, give it a taste.
Whoa, I feel so nostalgic.
Well, Cam, Prowler Puffs now have 4 times the nostalgia in every bite.
Whoa, 4 times?
Go ahead, give it another taste.
He's got room to run. 10, 5, Brunel leaps. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Now shuffles his feet. He's going to get hit.
This is put it to town, man.
He's at the 35 to 30. Look at the speed. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Touchdown. The Jaguars do it again. David's going to get it more. He's at the 25-yard line. Tackle looking for the inside of the 15. Outside. There he goes. It's a foot race.
Man, I can't wait for kickoff.
Go get 'em, Cam. Get ready for game day the only way with Prowler Puffs. They're bold, they're crunchy, they're back. Collect all 4 flavors today. Prowler Puffs. Taste the legacy. Prowler Puffs are not an actual cereal. Side effects may include spontaneous nostalgia, excessive team pride, and uncontrollable Duval chance. Only available while supplies last. Non-Jaguars fans should consult a doctor before consuming Prowler Puffs. Offer not valid in Indianapolis, Houston, and especially not Nashville. Visit jaguars.com/tickets for more details.
Can you do it again? Sadly, Cam didn't save us any Prowler Puffs, but we do have the boxes, and we're happy to announce that there are going to be 4 throwback games this year. We're going to start out in week 3 against the Texans, Monday Night Football against the Chiefs, the Colts matchup, I believe, week 14, and then the final game of the season against the Titans. 4 times the fun, guys.
I love them.
It's like we're right back.
I think everybody
Cool.
does.
Cool stuff.
We're back in time. So happy.
And thanks to Cam Little for participating in a commercial. Great kid, great sense of humor.
Great kicker.
I think fans embrace that. I think it's pretty cool.
Definitely was not born in 99, I don't even think.
No.
But we appreciate the throwback nature of it. Anyway, we will be back with you on Jags A.M. tomorrow, live outside from training camp. So join us then as we'll preview a little bit of that preseason matchup against the Steelers.